All right, man. So it's been a little bit. Thank you guys so much for all tuning in. Just had a lot going on, but beautiful to be here again. Blessed to be here again. As you guys know, we're working to break down the laws of success by Napoleon Hill and try to put it in today's language and understanding, so that really the masses can understand it at a deeper and simpler level. So just want to break this thing down, and as always, if you guys would like to donate, we'll have the link in the bottom towards the Vigilante education system, towards working with young men to help them become leaders of today's new generation. Again, we're looking to create alpha servant leaders, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the best way to do it. And first off, by teaching, learning, understanding, and then implementing and executing the things that we learn. So imagination, guys, imagination is so fucking important. It's crazy. Um, this is the workshop. This is where everything happens. This is where the magic happens. I don't know if you guys have ever seen SpongeBob, where he has the rainbow's imagination, and he's doing all the crazy stuff inside the box, and Squidward's getting pissed off because he didn't have the imagination to be able to have the fun and have the outcomes that SpongeBob and Patrick were. Imagination creates everything that we want in life and really allows us to bring our internal thoughts and our internal ideas into a physical and 3D reality, from 5D to 3D. So, oh shoot, let me move this right here. Let's see. The seed to the full grown tree. Well, we're gonna have to leave that how it is. That's fine. But the question becomes, how does the acorn know to grow into the oak tree? How does the seed know how to get to the end result? How does the daisy know how to become a daisy? How come it doesn't become a sunflower? How come it doesn't become a rose? I mean, there's so many different options. How does it know what to do? And I mean, if you look into the DNA, it's like even a young human body. How does a young human body know how to grow into a full human body? It's encoded into the DNA. So what if that goes deeper than just the physical? And what if we have something encoded into our spirit, in essence, or our emotional side of things, our mental side of things as well, all combined? The physical is only one portion and one piece of it. So what I'm saying is, if the body knows how to grow into an adult body, how would we not know that the spirit doesn't know how to grow into an adult spirit, or the mental and emotional doesn't know how to grow into adult mental and emotional? But you have to be able to unlock it. You have to let it grow. You have to trust that it's going to grow. You have to understand that you already know everything inside. I mean, there's so much wisdom inside our body, but most of us are looking for the outside world to give us the wisdom instead of looking inside to gain the wisdom and put it into the outside. So something interesting, and we're going to break into this in a little bit as well, is I have a different vision of what the best version of Teague is going to be than you have the best version of you. So you don't have to be my vision. You don't have to be what I tell you need to be. What does your internal tell you that you need to be? What does your internal your those visions, those, oh man, that would be super cool if I could be that. Or maybe you're a talented singer, you have a voice, and everybody's like, man, you got some pipes on you, you can really sing, you should go sing in front of an audience. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, that'd be really cool, I'd love to be a rock star, a superstar on stage, but I don't know what other people are going to think of me, or I don't know what all this bullshit's going to happen, or it might be hard to write my own songs, or some stuff like that. It's like, if you had that vision of you being on stage and being that singer, it was meant for you. The things that I see are meant for me. The things that you see are meant for you. Just like the acorn seed is meant to grow into the oak tree. Just like the sunflower seed is supposed to grow into the sunflower. The rose is supposed to go into the rose. It's like everything has its own, again, innate knowledge, innate inherent knowledge that we all are born with. And the visions that are given to us are meant for us. The man upstairs, the big G God, he wouldn't have given us those visions and those feelings and those scenarios, those movies that we run into our head, if it wasn't meant for us. And that's the whole goal of imagination, is how do we bring that vision from the 5D, from the dream world, from the spirit realm, in essence, into that 3D physical material reality that we could taste, touch, see, smell, and hear. But first, Everything comes from thoughts. You have a thought of something. Oh man, maybe I'm that singer. And then the idea, well, you know what? I could go talk to my local studio. I could write down a song right now. Or maybe you want to be an author. Man, you know what? I have a good thought of a book that I want to write. Well, here's some ideas. Well, maybe I could put it on paper. I could reach out to some publishers, see what the steps would be in order to do it. And then plans. The plans are organizing all of those things together. Well, you know what? Here's a step-by-step list of how am I going to execute that? What publisher am I going to go talk to? When am I going to do it by? What does my book need to be about? How do I outline a book? How do I, etc.? You need to create plans in order to be able to bring those things into reality again. You have to give that idea a vehicle. You have to give it a highway in order to get into our realm that we're in right now. You have to be able to put it into the video game. And again, that requires imagination, guys. So telepathy is another thing. Communication with others and the environment around us. I mean, if you look at a bunch of studies on twins, identical twins, a lot of them are speaking their own language to each other and communicating in different ways to where you can feel when something's wrong, or maybe something happened to you and then all of a sudden your mom called and, hey, just want to check on you, had a weird feeling. It's like, that is telepathy. That's extrasensory. And there's so many things we've already talked about that are extrasensory in this world that we just aren't taught growing up from such a young age. I mean, if a snake can see infrared vision, but we can't, it's like, what's the difference? They just have different tools. And sometimes we haven't been taught all of the tools that a human being has in order to maneuver and adjust his own life here. And then a significant other as well. It's like, it gets to the point you spend so much time with a significant other. It's like, man, you know what they're thinking. You could look across the room, an event could happen around you, you look across the room to each other and you know exactly what each other's thinking. You can just smile, nod, be like, hell yeah. And you're in tune, in harmony. And telepathy doesn't just go with human beings, it goes with that, if you want to call it God, whatever you want to call it, the universe, energy, whatever you want to fucking call it, it doesn't matter. We've already gone over this. But you're speaking to this power. And as you speak to the power, and you can't always just speak in the English language. You got to speak with your mind, with your soul, with the feeling, with the running the movie and holding the movie, and faith, not the fear. The fear is the opposite side of it. The fear deteriorates that highway and that vehicle to be able to talk to that power and allow it to bring forth. But the faith is what opens the highway, provides the vehicle, and entertaining that thought from such a intense and long, you have to continue it over a period of time of seeing that video in your head of whatever that vision is, to be able to have the imagination to give it the vehicle that it needs to bring into this 3D material world. So telepathy, in Napoleon Hill, in the books, they'll talk about the ether. And the ether, one of the best examples I got from the ether, watching one of these guys that was in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, Richard Bandler. He was talking about how the world, and any magnet has a pole, has a north pole and a south pole, and the world is just a big magnet. So if you guys remember the old school floppy disks, all it was a magnetic disk, and you magnetize information to it. Nikola Tesla said some weird shit about crystals being able to have information in them. Water can also contain it. It's the weirdest shit, guys. If you want to go down the craziest rabbit hole of your life, I mean, just start studying some of this stuff. But if the world was a magnet, a big magnet with a north and south pole, and you could magnetize information to it, what is the chances that you could have information floating around you at all times? You could have experiences that have already been experienced going around us at all times. The chances are pretty high. Now, hunches and brief ideas in the imagination or in the brain, they are messages. Or, I'm driving down the street, you need to call this person. Well, fuck, I'm too busy. I got this and I got this and I got this and I got this to do. Well, got to do this instead. That little hunch, if you would have listened to it, it might have been something from the ether, something from that magnet of the world that we live in, trying to tell you, hey, this is going to be a portion, this is going to be a piece that gets you closer again to developing that highway and developing that vehicle from your imagination to bring forth whatever you're looking to bring forth. And again, I mean, there could be the past circumstances around us. There, some people, if they want to go into the reincarnation thing, where your ancestors are behind you and all this different stuff. At the end of the day, we inherited physical genes from our ancestors. How do we know we didn't inherit more than just the physical side? There's a lot of fucking interesting stuff. And what if there's previous knowledge that they learned that we could also learn? You'll hear people talk about the Akashic records and stuff like that, where basically everything around us is everything there's ever been. And what would some people call that? All that was, is, and ever will be. Some people, again, from the good book, are going to call it God. Now, in sales, though, this bounces back and forth from sales to becoming the best version of yourself. A man, if he isn't sold on a product, it can be felt by everybody. So like if I want to be something, but I'm not sure that I want to be it, I only kind of want to be it, everybody can tell that I'm bullshit. And whether it be just by the walk that I'm walking, how I'm holding myself as posture, the talk that I'm talking, or multiple other circumstances, the vibe I'm giving off, maybe it's for ulterior motives or etc. Man, you feel it. You guys fucking feel it when you're around people. You're like, man, I don't know what it is. I just get a bad feeling about that person. And then later down the line, something happens. You're like, fuck, I was right. I should have listened to my gut. I should have listened to that talking, that second brain. Um, so make sure that we're sold on what we're selling. And 99% of life is selling life to ourselves, selling ourselves on what we are, who we are as a person. And that's such a fucking important thing. Um, and let's say you are selling a physical product. It's like, unless you're sold on the product and utilizing it and using it, you're never going to make a sale or convince somebody to buy it from you unless they actually need it. There is transactional selling, like a guy selling newspapers in the old school time, where 30 people come by. He's like, yeah, I sold 30 newspapers that day. It's like, I'm a good salesman. Was he the good salesman, or was there a big story that everybody wanted to know about? And whether he was there or not, they were going to get the news. So selling is completely different than transactional selling. And people, human beings, I mean, we may be lacking in material wealth at the moment, or we may be down on our luck or cheated in 1,000 ways, or we may not have the materials that we think that we need in order to get to the goals that we're looking for right out of the gate. But if you can take the time to understand that we have to be able to claim it in our mind first, and we'll get into this. No man can deprive us of the control and use of our imagination. And that's where the real power is, right here. This is the tool right here. This is worth more than fucking $1 billion, more than $1 trillion, if you understand how to use this and understand how to use your imagination. You can use your imagination to gain peace, to gain clarity, to have wisdom through the invisible counsel, or retiring into yourself. So Napoleon Hill, he set up a few characters and would call it his invisible counsel, to where when he meditated, he would go into his mind and he would ask a question. He would put himself, imagination, guys, he would put himself into a briefing room, and it would have a big table. And at the table, he'd have people like Andrew Carnegie, Abraham Lincoln, Henry Ford, a few other people, and Napoleon, the General Napoleon. And he would go in there and ask questions to these people and gain insight and wisdom from them. Even though they were just characters in his mind, he was still able to gain wisdom and knowledge from them, which is so fucking important. This badass right here, Marcus Aurelius behind me, he would say the same thing all the time. He said, man, you could be doing the worst task in the world from the Stoic philosophy. You could be doing something you absolutely hate. And if you hate it, you could transport, you could retire into yourself to give yourself a vacation at any time. You could put yourself on a beach. For example, I used to work in a freezer as a forklift driver for a while. And I'm listening to multimillionaires talk about the beach, and they're telling me about how they're drinking a pineapple drink and they're hearing the waves, and their toes are in the sand and all this stuff. And it's hypnotic. You can hypnotize yourself to go into that different place. And once you're in that different place, you can enjoy where you're at so much more. Because I was in the freezer, 0 degrees, but really I was on the beach and I was relaxing and I was enjoying and I was resetting myself. So you can go there to gain peace. You can go there to gain wisdom. Whatever you guys need to do, create that place in your head where you can go at any single time. And let's say you're working out. Let's say you're working out and you don't want to do another rep, or you don't want to do another deal. You can create a place where you go where it is exciting to do those things, where the work is taken away from you, where the weight is lifted off of your shoulders. The Bible talks about how give me your yoke. and give me what the oxen use to carry the wagon. If you give the man upstairs your yoke, he'll carry it. It's not as heavy. He's strong as fuck. Sometimes we're weak, but if you can give it to him, if you can retire into yourself, God dwelleth inside, then magic starts happening, you guys. Another thing, this fuck, man, this one's hard as hell. I'll be honest. I'm working on this myself because pride will get you every time. But if you can be able to forgive others who have done you unjustly or who have crossed you, being able to forgive them, that doesn't mean let them back in your circle. That doesn't mean you got to be homies with them or friends with them again after, but being able to forgive and not hold a grudge and not hold anger towards them anymore. Because as we know, if we hold anger towards others, we're poisoning ourselves at the end of the day. And instead of imagining the negatives involved, like let's say, well, the next time I see him, this, and this, instead of running those negative movies in our head, we can now utilize our imagination as a tool to imagine the good movies, or imagine not even spend the time and the energy, pay attention, not even spend the time and the energy on whatever they're doing, but spend the time and the energy on creating and elevating and continuously improving in our own way to make this happen. Now, the real power of imagination, crazy guys. The human brain is so fucking cool. It's beautiful. If we used it correctly, we could have it as a tool to wipe out world poverty, world hunger, solve any problem facing a human right now. I mean, there's a lot. If you want to go down the rabbit hole on conspiracy theories, that's a whole different route. There's a lot of money in keeping these things this way, and there's reasons behind that. So it's a difficult challenge, but with imagination, if we do it correctly, we could do it with ease. And times are changing right now. The tides are turning. It's beautiful. A lot of people are waking up to the craziness in this fucking world. That's beautiful because it's going to create a massive change. Abundance is here. Now, Napoleon Hill talks about what's called mob psychology. And people do this all the time. I mean, you look at it, people want to be like other people. People want to do what other people are doing. People don't want to feel left out. Nobody wants to be the fucking guy in the lunchroom that's sitting at the chair by himself and he's eating all alone while all the cool kids are at the cool kid table. It's like everybody wants to be at the cool kid table, but mob psychology is an interesting one. That's another reason if you look into sales, if you look people selling from a mob, like a big seminar or something like that, if multiple people are buying, it's easier for the other. Well, I might as well. Johnny boy over here, he's buying it, so fuck, I might as well hop in on that too. Well, it's a good deal, and he said it's a good deal. I might as well. And so you have to be careful about big groups of people, and they are manipulated in a big way at the same time. So just be aware of that. The 100th monkey effect is something interesting as well. And the question with it is, why is it important for media to think about? Why is it important for the media and for news sources or for outlets or the government or anybody in general to control and guide the thoughts of others and human beings? Well, the 100th monkey effect right here is a phenomenon where new behavior or ideas are spread rapidly through consciousness from one group to the rest of the species. Once a critical number is reached, they're able to pick it up. Even if, let's say, they were in another country, boom, it's like a mass consciousness where they're learning a new skill to continue to survive the species, and so instantly everybody else has to know the same thing, and it just clicks, it just happens. It's like a light switch finally turns on after there's enough weight pushing it up. This is why it's important to keep improving yourself and spreading the truth, because guys, you could be the one that tips the scales. And this is what we're doing right now. We're tipping the scales. Feelings. So feelings are so important in the ether based on where you're located. The power of imagination. So for example, when you're in Beverly Hills, or if you're in the most wealthiest portion of New York, or you're in Dubai versus a third world country, you have a completely different feeling. You're standing up tall, you're walking, you could have no money and you could be walking around, man, I'm the fucking man. I feel good. You're going to feel wealthy. You're going to feel prosperous just by the environment that you're in. And this not only goes with the city, this also goes with the people you're surrounding yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with people who know where they're going, who are doing good things? You're going to start doing good things and start knowing where you're going. Are you surrounding yourself with people who are just getting fucked up every weekend, or chasing every girl, or chasing every movie, or every video game, or every bullshit that's fucking coming their way? Then guess what? You're going to start becoming that as well. Just show me your friends and I'll show you your future, Dan Pena says. There's so many fucking, everybody's saying about the same thing in different ways, guys. It's fucking crazy. You just have to connect the dots. And it's the same, like a feeling of a city after their team won a Super Bowl or a championship, an NBA championship. That whole city's on fire. It's like, man, everybody's hyped up. Everybody can feel it. Versus when a catastrophe happens, it's the same thing. Everybody can feel devastation, sadness. It's you can feel it when you're hanging out with somebody that you really enjoy and they're not in a good mood. And you walk into the room, you're all hyped up, you're having a great day, and they had a tough bad day, and you walk in, you sit down, and man, it's like, whoa, something just changed. What was that? And guys, this is all brain stuff right here. Imagination, because they're imagining bad things or replaying bad movies in their head, and then making that feel. And as we all give off that electromagnetic, and it's scientifically proven that electromagnetic field, you are infectious in both good and negative ways. One negative mind can influence 50 positive ones, is what Andrew Carnegie and Napoleon Hill used to say. And everything that's already around us, Bob Proctor talks about this in some of his lectures as well. Everything that is around us was made from things that were around us already. Everything on the earth came from stuff that's on the earth already. So we have everything that we need. Abundance is already here. We can create anything that we want to create with the stuff that's already here. The same goes with experience. Every experience has also already been experienced, whether it be by ancestors, ancient times, and it's rearranged for our current time. The same way the alphabet can be rearranged and may create any word, sentence, or story that's ever been. Imagination may be used by interpreting things around us, so understanding the circumstances and events that are happening around us, or by creating something new from scratch. And is it really new? That's a good fucking question. Technology that we have today. So a lot of this imagination, because we already have everything that we've already needed on this earth, a lot of the imagination is connecting the second piece to get what we want. So let's say we have this green solution right here in this picture, but we want the red solution. All we're looking for is what on earth or what event or what action do I need to take to get the blue solution so I can mix that shit together and create the red one. Most problems are half solved already. Once we can imagine a solution, it's just combining what you have in your head with what you need in the material, physical, or 3D world to bring it into existence. And this is what they used to call alchemy in the ancient times. Magic sometimes, guys, but it's not fucking magic. It's just stuff we didn't understand or have not been taught on how shit works, on how the human experience can be manipulated into a positive or better place than we currently are. Technology, for example, it's the same way. If you go back 100 years ago and you're looking at the FaceTime, or you're looking at the Wi-Fi, or you're looking at all the crazy stuff that they have now, it's like it would be miraculous. It would look like fucking magic. Well, how's he doing that? How's he talking from here to somebody in Spain over FaceTime? How are they doing that? It's magic. No, it's not fucking magic. It's technology. It's what we already have all around us. It's just how is it being utilized? They didn't know how to do it, so it seemed like fucking magic. When the Spanish conquistadors come over and started burning all the Mayan libraries, they said, man, this is the work of the devil, because they were more fucking advanced, guys. And I'll get fucking wild on some of the stuff from Egyptian and Mayan stuff, but guys, we have everything that we need, and we have more ability. We have more, in essence, today it would be called supernatural ability, but it's not supernatural. It's natural for a human that understands what we are to be able to do the things that we want to do. So what happens in the future? Teleportation, healing, etc. Has it already been done? That's the real question. Is there money in keeping people unwell? Another good question. Rearranging and transmutation. So Napoleon Hill talks about transmutation a lot, and all transmutation is changing one thing into another thing. a bad feeling into a good feeling by using the imagination, changing perspective, and making yourself feel good about it. Instead of, man, I fucking took an L last week. It's like, well, what did I learn from that? I learned some good stuff. So now in the future, I get to save myself from so many more L's. That was transmutation. Um, Napoleon Hill talks about sex transmutation, and we'll talk about that in a chapter as well, where it's like, instead of me spending 80% of my time looking at, well, how can I get laid? How can I find the next girl? How can I find the next female that is wanting to fulfill that urge? What happens if I transfer that 80% energy into attaining my goals or serving other people or doing other things? That's transmutation, or alchemy, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's all the same stuff. Um, and so you got to always think, if I'm Midas, the Midas touch, turn everything into gold, how can I make gold of what I currently have? Not, well, I can't reach my fucking goals. I can't write the book that I wanted to write because I don't have everything that I have right now, or I don't have the money. I don't have this. Like, well, fuck that. What do you have right now? Do you got a pen? Do you got a piece of paper? It's like, how can I start that right now? How can I turn that into gold so that when opportunity comes, I'm already prepared? And what is the definition of success? When preparation meets opportunity, that is success, guys. And opportunities fucking come left and right once we're prepared for them. But if we're not prepared for them, and we're not being imaginative, we're sitting and fucking worrying or fearing or doubting or being scared or being lazy, opportunities don't come. But to somebody that knows what they want and they're preparing for it, opportunities fucking throw themselves at you. It's crazy as hell, but it's beautiful at the same time. Now, in your current job or position, how may you use your imagination to be more value to your employer? Because guess what? Every single employer, every single person is always looking for people that are going to help them, and they're looking to develop an all-star team to grow into their own dreams. So if you're working for somebody, what can you do that nobody's asking you to do, that you can start doing on a consistent basis to provide value to them? So now every single time they're looking, it's like, oh man, he's doing good. Or a sports team. It's like, well, that guy's working. I know that guy isn't on the starting roster right now, but he's working harder than everybody else. He's at the gym before everybody gets there and leaves after everybody leaves. He is studying more film. He's putting in more work. He's doing this. So as soon as a position comes available, guess who's first in their minds to promote him? That fucking person. So take the advantage. Take it upon yourself to start doing more than you're asked for. To the man that is does more than he is paid for, will soon be paid for more than he does. Now, all imagination is just rearranging old and new ideas into new combinations. The same goes with art. Art's everything. Or music. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I may be wrong on this, but I think there's 7 notes total, like 7 musical notes, and every single song that's ever been written is in those fucking 7 notes. It may be 8 or 9, or I don't know, but about 7. And that's nuts. Or the alphabet. There's 26 letters in the English alphabet, and out of every single book that's ever been written, every sentence, every English word, every story that's been told in English is from a 26-letter alphabet, and all they're doing is rearranging the different parts. Or martial arts and movement. For every punch and movement there is, all it is rearranged into different combinations. Nothing ever changes. It just rearranges. It's reborn into something new. It's remixed to make something new. Everything is everything, ladies and gentlemen. The mind's eye. So again, Napoleon Hill talks about imagination, being creative with your imagination in sales. But the mind's eye is your pineal gland. It's what happens when you're dreaming. Carl Jung was big on dreams. It's almost like somebody might have known this. And if they would have known this, that people were dreamers or they had these visions, but they didn't want them to be doing their own stuff, they wanted more control and power, what would you do? If it was me and I was in that place, I would not want people to be dreaming and seeing and visualizing all the things that they wanted. And so if you guys look into fluoridation in the pineal gland, or calcification of the pineal gland, which again is your third eye, or you look, if you're a Joe Rogan fan, you look into the DMT stuff. All DMT is what you're seeing when you're dreaming. Your third eye, your pineal gland, literally has rods and cones in it so you can see. That's why I can close my eyes and I could watch a movie in my head, good or bad. I could watch a football game in my head. I could do whatever the fuck I want to do with that mind. You guys are the fucking acorn. We are the acorn. We're the seed. The seed knows how to grow into the best oak tree it can. The teague knows how to grow into the best teague it can be, but is teague gonna choose? And this is the beautiful part about it. This is where free will comes in. Am I gonna choose to have faith and move forward and walk towards that, or am I gonna choose to I could be a lesser oak tree if I want. I could just be a little one and I could still make it and I could still do all right. But my mind is telling me you're the best fucking oak tree there's ever been. Go become that oak tree. I'm scared. Or what if somebody thinks bad of me? Or what if somebody's opinion hurts my feelings? Or what if it's too much work? Or all this bullshit, guys. Grow into the strong oak. What is going on in your mind? Um, that's a wild rabbit hole in itself. That's why I drink distilled water most of the time. Um, do your own research. Now, your imagination may assist in sales as well. Everything is sales, guys. Everything. If you have an idea, you got to sell others the advantage of your idea. This comes from seeing in your own mind and thinking, and then again, organizing. So I have an idea. Maybe I want to, in Napoleon Hill, he talks about a person building a bridge. Well, I want to build a bridge. All right, well, I need money for the bridge. Well, how do I get the funding? Well, I'm going to go talk to people who would benefit from the bridge, show them why they would benefit from the bridge. And if I could split up their portions of payment, now they don't even have to pay the full cost and they all get the benefit of the bridge, and I do too. Now you just utilized everything around you to get the result you wanted, the bridge, but you didn't have to spend your own money and you didn't even have to do the own work because somebody else's money built it for you when you had the imagination to create that scenario. So sales is everything, but most importantly, again, we got to sell ourselves to ourselves, and then we can sell to everybody else. If your imagination is a mirror of your soul, then you have a perfect right to stand before that mirror and see yourself as you wish to be. See yourself as the big fucking oak tree, the best oak tree there's ever been. And you got to claim it in your mind, and then you may claim it in your 3D material world. Become the oak. The acorn doesn't ask how it's going to become the oak. It already knows how. It just listens to itself and it executes what it needs to do. Listen to the internal and then execute what you need to do. Hey, call that person. I'm busy. I'm tired. Go to so and so's house and check on him. Fuck, man, but I gotta eat dinner first and then maybe. It's like, no, just fucking go. Um, you got to live from the internal out and not the external in. External in is going to poison us every single fucking day. But if we live from the internal out, then we can water and we can help others flourish from the positives. The seed must also go through the dirt before it may sprout. So don't doubt the negatives. We wouldn't have the vision in our mind of the potential greatness we have if we couldn't become it. If shit gets hard before, it's okay. If you decide you want something, there's something about how God does this where you decide you want something and he's going to test you. He's going to throw some things in front of you, some obstacles in front of you to decide, is this really what you want? Or are you just talking about it? Are you going to be about it? Or are you just talking about it? And if you really want it, if you really see it and you really have faith that that's what you're supposed to be, then you'll conquer the obstacle. You'll move around it. You'll go under it. You'll go over it. You'll break through it, whatever you got to do to get what you see. Now, the beauty lies again, like we talked about, in the free will. Which movie in our head do we entertain and hold the longest? When the obstacle comes, you know what? It's hard. It ain't going to work out. Let's just stop. Somebody could do it, but just not us. And then you never fucking attain it. Now you're a little ass oak tree instead of the great oak tree that's going to haunt your mind for the rest of your fucking life because, well, what if I could have done it? What if I wouldn't have stopped? What if I can make it happen? And you got to entertain that good movie and allow that good movie. As soon as the doubt and the scary movie comes in, you're the fucking director. Switch that bitch up. Let's throw a good movie in there. Let's watch that thing. Let's see how it does. Well, what if it turns out everything more and even better than what we thought? Imagination is a muscle. You got to use it. Wolff's law in physical strength. You got to use it or you lose it. Hard work isn't everything, guys. You could be physically hardworking your whole life and make a good living or make a solid amount, but you're these guys over here pushing the squares, working hard as fuck. When if you had enough imagination to carve the corners off, you're like, oh man, here we go. Let's roll this ball down the hill and let's make shit. You're still getting the same result. You're getting the same result even faster because you mixed hard work with smart work. Can't just be smart and tell, well, you know what? If you would just cut your things off, Look, the guy still has to fucking push the ball. You just cut the corners, you'd be solid. Cut the corners off and round it out and make it. No, you still got to push. You still got to work. You got to put the cause out there for the reaction to come back. But you got to combine imagination with planning and effort. And let's say you have a weakness. So let's say I want to create a something for money and investing. I know that I want to be a millionaire, but I don't know shit about money. Perfect. You have the idea, you have the imagination. Find somebody who knows the financial planning side of things. Bridge your weaknesses. If you are a receiver, you need somebody to throw to you. So find a fucking quarterback so that they can throw you the ball. You can't throw the ball, it's all right. And again, you don't have to be the quarterback to reap the rewards of the team scoring a touchdown and winning the game. You all get to fucking win. If we can take the time to realize, and if we can understand that our position is important, but if we have a skill set that needs to be filled in order to win the game, fill that skill set with somebody else who's great at it, and the whole team can win. You might even just be the guy organizing the team. You might be a shitty player, but you're a damn good coach. So put yourself in the position you need to put yourself in to flourish. And anywhere where you lack, fill it. It's okay. You don't have to put the whole fucking team on your back and carry all the weight. In creating a team and sales, you must provide people with an adequate motive. So if you're bringing somebody into your team, what's a good enough reason? An adequate motive is just another name for a good enough reason. Why would they want to join you? Why is it important for your idea to win? What are they going to get out of it? Are they just going to get nothing? They just get you work and work and work and work and you win? Nobody wants that. Everybody wants to know, well, what the fuck am I going to get out of it at the end of the day? And it's not always money that's going to drive somebody to do something. Not always recognition either. There's a bunch of different motives. You got to find out for that person, what do they want? And with this, you may achieve any result you desire if you provide others the right adequate motive. It should be simple and in a state of flow instead of force. If I'm forcing other people to do stuff, I'm doing it wrong. If I am motivating them and they want to and they are putting in effort because they desire to, because of what I've put in front of them, now you're going to be able to win long term. All difficult tasks are easily performed if approached from the right angle. The selfishness of man, guys. Again, what's in it for me? Men will grant favors that you request for the benefit of a third person when they would not grant them to you if requested for your benefit. Again, nobody wants to see you elevate before them. But if you're both serving someone else, then that may change. It's like you come to me and let's say I have something that you need just for your missing puzzle piece. You have a good business idea or you want to help somebody out. You have a noble cause to help somebody out and you're going to get all the recognition for it. And I'm not, but you come to me for the piece that you need to give them that elevation. It's like, well, fuck. Inherently, man is selfish, whether we like it or not. Well, fuck, he's going to get recognition and elevation for what I did. Why would I give that to him? That's what's going to be going through their fucking head. But now, if you come to me and say, you know what, you have this, you have piece A, I have piece B, and if we mix those together, we can really help this person and they can elevate from it. And whether you get recognition or not, that third person wins. I am 10 times more likely to be able to give you what I have. It's weird. It's like, no, there's that old quote where it's like, everybody wants to see you do well, just not better than them. And that's so fucking true. Or it's like a shitty coach will tell you everything they know except for a few bags so that if you ever have to face them, they can still win. It's that pride talking. But the great coach, they'll give you everything they have and more so that you can be better than them. So something to take into consideration when we're dealing with others as well as dealing with ourselves. When are we selfish? And can we mitigate and can we lessen our selfishness? In imagination, we must pause our mind and we got to sit in the other person's mind. This is tactics. This is tactics. This is chess. This is what, or maybe you're dating a girl. It's like, man, this girl really likes flowers. Let's say she really loves flowers. Would it do me any good to go get her a new movie? It's like, no, she fucking loves flowers. You know she loves flowers. If I would have put myself in her mind and say, what would she want for her birthday, or what would she want with the gift? A new movie's not gonna fucking strike her fancy. You got to give her some good ass flowers. Go find the ones that she likes. And once you can pause your mind, put yourself in the other person's shoes, and see what you're giving. Is that important? Is that not important? Is my sale going to be solid? Is my pitch going to be good? Is my actions going to be good? All you got to do is put yourself in the other person's shoes, and then the imagination can start tinkering, start giving you new ideas to attain your goal, to make her your girlfriend or whatever it may fucking be. The best victory, guys, thinking, tactics, strategy, is to win without fighting. The Art of War. That's a beautiful book by Sun Tzu. Tact, my second favorite word in the dictionary. First favorite word is abundance. Go research both of them. The best way to understand tact is to understand ourselves. Why do I do what I do? What motivates me to make decisions? The more we understand ourselves, the more we may understand others. Advantages must be shown to the other people of why it benefits them most, not us. Yes, it's got to be a win-win. But if it benefits them 10 times more than it benefits us, and we still get the result, that's a huge win right there. It's a no-brainer. Who would say no? So another thing, if something isn't based on truth and justice, it may pay now, but it's not going to last long term. So Napoleon Hill's big on this. He says to be cautious and be wary. Am I using my imagination for good? Am I manipulating others with my imagination just for my gain and my benefit and my selfishness? Because I might get what I want immediately, but then long term, it's going to come back and haunt my ass. So there's a form of imagination which we should take caution with. It's the type that makes people think they can get something for nothing, or that they can force themselves ahead in the world without observing the rights of others, or to be a swindler. Nature will always catch up. We can't cheat the laws of nature. Where we have personally tried to cheat nature, for example, mine was drinking and driving. I grew up, got introduced to alcohol really young, and started drinking driving. I know it's fucking irresponsible, but I did it. It is what it is. And then next thing you know, boom, I total a car. It's like, well, fuck, okay, here we go. And then if you still continue to do it, boom, another bad thing happens. Boom, another bad thing happens. And it's like you continue. The laws of nature is going to tell you, hey, you're fucking up. You probably shouldn't be doing what you're doing. You're being irresponsible. You could hurt somebody. You could kill somebody because you're being a dumbass. You could do all kinds of different stuff, but you continually choose to go against it. It may pay off now. Well, I got away with it this time. I'll probably get away with it next time. Or let's say stealing would be another one. Let's say somebody that goes and robs a bank. It's like maybe they get away at the first bank and they get a good cash payout. Like, fuck yeah, man, I could do that. Maybe I could do it again. So they go back to the second bank and they get away with it. And they're, fuck yeah, I'm getting good at this. I can take whatever I want and I can have my cake and eat it too. And then the third one, they get caught and they're like, well, what the fuck? Like, and then they don't even know what to say. Caught with their dick in their hand, and they're like, well, what do I do now? And they have to accept the consequences of what's going to happen, whether it be from the law system, whether it be from the laws of nature, whether it be from guilt. Like, let's say I hurt somebody else, I would have that guilt for the rest of my entire life. And I'm very blessed to be in the position that I am now, almost 2 years sober. But it's crazy, guys. Like, do not violate the rights of other men, and you're going to be solid. Use your imagination for good. Most people in jail, Napoleon Hill said, is because a lot of them were crazy imaginative, crazy talented, but they use their imagination for negative things. They put themselves in the big house. Destination. Where are we going with our imagination? This will help us keep on that right path so we're not violating the rights of other men. Imagination is most useful when it is being used towards an end destination or an end goal. If you don't know where that's at, your imagination is just running wild, and an idle mind leads to what? Evil thoughts, and it's fucking real. Earl Nightingale, he has a video called The Strangest Secret. Badass fucking little lecture. And it talks about a ship. If you just let a ship off, you have a full tank of gas, you set the pedal down, and you're going, and you just let it go. And it has no fucking destination. It's probably going to crash or it's going to land anywhere. And then either way, it is what it is. It's like, where did it fucking go? Wherever it landed, wherever the wind took it. Or it runs out of gas, or it just crashes into the fucking side, back into land. But if you give that same boat coordinates, and then you have that full tank of gas and you know exactly where you're going, chances that it gets there high fucking 99 percentile. That's a good one. If you guys are ever free, go read The Strangest Secret or listen to it. Sorry, that's audio. If you struggle with imagining how to get to your end goals, the solution is easy. It's simple. Put your back. You might not want to do it. You might not want to do it, but it's a fucking well thought out solution, and it'll put you in the position all the time. If you struggle with imagining how to get to your end goals, the solution is easy. Put your back against the wall. Plan A is your plan B. Plan C is also your plan A again. Put your back against the wall, and you'll be forced to get creative. This one cracked me up literally because I seen a meme on this, and it was like, crackheads always find a way to get their fix. They don't wake up in the morning and say they're not smoking today. They virtually always find a way. And the meme was like, are you gonna let a crackhead out hustle you today? And it's that same thing. It's like our fix, our drug has to be our goal, has to be our obsession. We have to be able to find a way, in any way is fine. Again, as long as we're not violating the rights of other men, and we are basing those principles and basing those movements off of truth and justice. You're bound to get there. Be careful though, because along the way, we're going to get those tests. Well, here's a shortcut. Here's a shortcut, but it's going to violate so-and-so. But if nobody catches you, nobody will ever know. Well, that's a fucking dangerous place to be. If you stick to your guns and stay true to your word, I promise more doorways will open. Just again, stay true to yourself. Don't violate other people. Don't violate other people's rights, and base your movements on truth and justice, and you can't lose. Never undervalue the planting of a seed in another person's mind either. Maybe you tell somebody about your goal, and they have what you need to help them get there, and they don't give you the result that you want that day. You can't undervalue that. You just have to continue controlling what you can control, continue doing the movements that you can control. Like I said, what do I have now that I can turn into gold? And then as you turn the stuff into gold immediately, eventually that seed may germinate, it may sprout, and then all of a sudden, right when you need it, bang, that person comes back into your life and says, hey, I got what you need. You've been preparing. I've been seeing you. Well, the first time you told me, I thought you were bullshitting, but then you just kept on working towards it. Now I'm willing to offer you what you need. So have faith, continue, just do what you can do right now. A master salesman is similar to Johnny Appleseed, spreading seeds everywhere he goes. And you absolutely have to spread seeds, because eventually they'll fall on fertile soil. There's a Bible story on this. I believe it's in Matthew, the book of Matthew, if you want to check that out, about planting seeds. It's like some seeds right here, if you look at the picture, the birds got them and took them away. Some of them, the rock string got them, and it wasn't due. Some of them, they got scorched in the hot sun and they died after they sprouted. Some of them got choked by the thorns over there. But eventually, if you keep on sowing your seeds, you're going to get there. You keep on with your destination, you're going to get there. Columbus's journey probably wasn't, and say what you want about Columbus, it's a whole rabbit hole in itself, but the sea across the ocean probably wasn't the easiest ride in the world. But once they got to their destination, bang, they finally did it. They're here. It was all worth it. Being a product of your product. People can feel if you're looking to make a sale or manipulate or persuade for your benefit. They can see right through it. Even if they can't understand it logically, it's like, man, there's something not right about that transaction. Zig Ziglar says, if you believe your product or service can fulfill a true need, it's your moral obligation to sell it. A salesman must first be sold on his product and be a product of his product. And like I said, people can sense bullshit a mile away. There was a millionaire I was listening to, and he was talking about how he was going to a Chevy dealership. He wanted to buy a new Corvette. So he goes to the Chevy dealership. He's looking at the Corvettes, and he was friends with the owner at the time. And he's talking to the owner, and he's like, yeah, man, I really love these Corvettes. I'd like to buy one. And he's like, well, before you do, he's like, come look at my Porsche. So he goes out, and the owner of the Chevy dealership was owning a Porsche. And he's looking at him. He's like, well, what the fuck? If a Chevy isn't good enough for the owner of a Chevy dealership to drive, why would I want to buy a fucking Chevy? So be a product of your product. Short comes to short, he didn't make the sale of that Corvette that day. Now, and then another is one of my business partners. He's fucking awesome. He is a product of his product. All he is health and wellness. He lives it, breathes it, sleeps it, learning something new every single day. And because of that, when he talks to people about health and wellness and they see his body because of the effort that he puts into his own body and taking care of it and putting the right diet in, they're going to listen. It would be like nobody's going to go fucking learn how to build muscle from a cupcake maker. It's like he's probably not fucking lean 7%, 6% body fat, leaner than a motherfucker. He's probably got a little extra pounds on him because he's been eating sugar the whole time. So you probably shouldn't listen to that guy. Or, hey, how do I become a millionaire? You probably shouldn't go to somebody who isn't a millionaire or on their way or in that vicinity of millionaires. Listen to the people who are where you want to be. Or somebody, you start a business and they're like, hey, you know what? You should run your business this way. It's like, well, where's your business? So another thing to look at when talking to other people, observing, listening, people are always going to show you cues and signs of what they desire if you listen. And this is where the imagination comes in. This is the dating the girl, trying to make her your girlfriend thing. Man, she's always talking about these fucking roses, always talking about these roses. If I would have just listened to her, I would have known to not get her fucking daisies and would have got her roses. It's like, hence again, why we have two eyes and two ears and only one mouth. People will be loyal to you in purchasing if they know you're not a bullshitter and will be real with them. And sometimes, in order to do that, if you don't have the best thing for that client or that customer or that person, or can help somebody with what they need, send them to where they can. And guess what? Even if they don't come back and buy from you, they're going to come back to you to ask you again for where to go because they know you are truthful, living on principles of truth and justice, not violating their rights so you could get a quick sale. And then they're going to come back to you over and over again. And then when you do have what they need, guess who they're going to go to? Right to you. Marketing and imagination, the last part of the imagination chapter here. I love basically it's like you could have a shirt. You could have a shirt at Ross, the same shirt. You could have it at Ross and you could have it in a Gucci store or wherever it may be. And it's going to sell for two completely different prices. And the reason being is because a lot of time people are buying on appearance. So another thing is to have self-marketing. What's your appearance look like? Are you not taking a shower for weeks on end and going around and expecting good results, talking to people or selling yourself to a female? It's like, dude, you got to fucking shower. You got to respect yourself. You got to market yourself to be able to be that person. Are you talking about you're wanting to be a bodybuilder, but you haven't gone to the gym in 6 months? It's like, you got to talk. If you're going to talk about it, you got to be about it. Marketing is more than just a commercial. You're an everyday commercial. You got to live it, talk it, speak it, breathe it, become it. Marketing is beautiful. It'd be like these toys that are a $1 toy, but because like kids' toys. I watch these kids and they do these fucking. They have like you got to break through the egg, and the inside of the egg is like 36 surprises, and there's glitter, and there's all kinds of experience. The experience is what you're paying for, but the charge of the $1 toy was 30 fucking bucks, and you're like, dude, what is going on? How come I paid so much? You didn't pay for the toy, you paid for the opening experience. Look at this picture right here. Jacob the jeweler. He has some of the best fucking box reveals for some of his watches. It's beautiful. I love them. I'll watch them on Instagram, things like that, just because I'm like, man, that's a nice watch. And then the whole display, it's like you're getting everything in, and it's eye popping, and it's like, wow, this is so cool. The experience is another thing that you're paying for. Yes, it's some of the best quality of the design and work in the world, but guess what? You're also paying for the experience and the name. It's like there could be a bunch of watches better than a Rolex watch, but you wanted to pay for Rolex. You wanted to pay for Nike. For example, here's another thing. If you are the salesman, go the extra mile to find out the details of who will best serve your audience. Same thing again with the female. She loves roses. Don't get her daisies. People will pay more for a good experience and a good feeling that goes along with a beautiful and well-working product. Maybe even a product to fit in or be like others. Again, I got to have the Nikes at school because in junior high, if I didn't have the Nikes, I was going to get made fun of. And mom, I ain't trying to get made fun of when I go to fucking school. We do that shit all the fucking time. It's crazy, guys. It's crazy. And once you can move past that, I'm telling you, I'll be a billionaire. I'll still shop at Ross. But um, people often buy on appearances before reality. So Henry Ford, same thing. After about 20 years of making the badass vehicles that he made, he had to change. He had to start creating some customization in them because people started buying other cars because of how they looked, even though they didn't run better. So something to consider. And that's the same with the dating game is, oh, well, who made a purchase on somebody's looks versus their inside? Were they beautiful on the outside before the inside? Happens all the time. So something to consider. Marketing and imagination. How are you marketing yourself? How are you imagining yourself? And that's why people also say dress for success, dress for the job or the position that you want to be. Because as soon as you do, you start, well, maybe I am the man. Then you start taking actions to become more the man. So, guys, like I said, this boom, this supercomputer right here is the most powerful thing in the entire world, and nobody's taught it. We take it for granted because it didn't cost us any money. It didn't cost us something. We were given it to us as a beautiful gift as when we were born. So consider that. What is that little seed in there telling you that you need to become or you can become? And then how can we imagine ourselves there? Once we imagine ourselves there, what is some ideas that can get us towards that or get us closer? And once we have those ideas, let's write them out and let's create a little plan and start taking steps towards that. Next thing you know, before you know it, you'll be there. So, like I said, guys, if you guys want to donate, feel free. If not, thanks so much for tuning in and developing and growing with me. Outside of that, you guys are awesome. You're incredible. You're powerful. You're important. When God made you, He made the best. I love you guys. Let's get this going right here. And I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you so much. See you for the next chapter.